To start by welcoming everyone to our webinar. This is one of many that we've started. For those of you who don't know, iProduce is a digital platform that's been created in order to have a virtual agribusiness ecosystem. The idea is to bring together entrepreneurs, investors, bring together input suppliers, logistics companies, financial service providers, and basically to make agri-services more accessible and create a more efficient process for agri-entrepreneurs to start off business so that they can become more successful. So we essentially focus on 4 value chains. The first value chain is the livestock value chain. We've already had some interesting webinars. There's one that we had on dairy that I know was very, very inspirational. And hopefully we repeat the dairy one because dairy is a huge, huge market for that. So we're going to have more on dairy. We also focus on cotton and garment. Cotton and garment is basically the first step towards industrialization. Most developed countries start off with producing their own cotton and garment. Nigeria is a cotton producing country. Unfortunately, we have not been able to translate this comparative advantage that we have into production and garment making. And we're hoping that we're going to stimulate this interest. We're also partnering with, another focus area is essential oils. As you know now, with all the health and safety concerns, a lot of people are actually consumers are preferring natural oils as opposed to the chemicals. So there's a high demand for essential oils. Everything you can think of that is natural. So Nigeria is blessed, as you know. We have a lot of shea butter, which is one of the oils, and we're exporters of shea butter, so there's a big opportunity for export for shea. Even though we are actually exporting shea nuts and not processing it, which is something that we would like to have a session on processing shea butter, because when it's processed, there's value added and you get more. And the last, and then there's so many other essential oils that cosmetic companies all over the world are looking for natural oils. So it will be very important and interesting value chain to look into as well. And then there's finally another area of focus is the organic and fruit vegetable value chain. I know you're aware as well now, a lot of people in the world are going vegan. Meat is now becoming sort of less, there's less consumption, there's high demand for fruit and vegetables. And also the issue of being organic. Again, for health and safety reasons, organic fruit and vegetables, the demand is really, really high. Nigeria has that, a lot of space, space, land that you can use for that. So essentially these 4 value chains, we're going to continue to come up with training and discussion groups so that we can share ideas about how we can exploit them. Finally, as you all know, the federal government is trying to diversify the economy of Nigeria, and the area that Nigeria has a very, very good advantage in is agriculture. Every single state in this country has the ability to produce exportable products and agri-products. So this is important. So what we're trying to do here is just basically continue training, share information on local and global markets, try to guide our partners, especially now with the Africa Continental Free Trade area. You know now that borders are going to go down and hopefully inter-Africa trade. Many countries that need food in Africa, and Nigeria can become that agriculture powerhouse that can feed Africa. Aside from the world, you know, there's a crisis with the war and everything. So this is really the time to focus on agriculture. And I'm hoping that we're going to come with financial advice. We're talking to a few organizations that have interest in investing in agriculture. So we're going to have special session just on funding and financing as well, so that we can get low interest credits. And there's also the issue of the Islamic financing, which is really catching on in Nigeria. So we partner with Islamic banking institutions so that those who do not want to borrow interest-based loans can access non-interest loans and go into partnership with these. So there's quite a lot that we plan to do, and I want to welcome you so for coming today. I'm going to hand over to Farida Aminu, who is going to be the moderator, and then she will tell you we have basically a very interesting person here. His name is Salihu Abdulkadir. He's known as Bluetooth. That's how I knew Bluetooth. I knew him as Bluetooth, but he's veered into agriculture, and he's going to tell us about his story, and he's grown quite big. So this is a very interesting story. After that, hopefully, we'll have a second speaker from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Resources. So once again, I want to say a very big thank you for joining us, and I want to hand over to Farida so she can come and introduce herself and also talk about introduce our speakers. So Farida, over to you. Okay, all right, okay, sorry, Farida is about to go into, Farida, you can come and sit here, I will bring her in. Sorry, I have to go and receive our second speaker. So Farida is going to sit in my place and do the introduction, and I will go and bring in our second speaker to make her comfortable. Thank you, everybody. Here's Farida.
Hello, good morning all. Sorry, I had to just quickly run an errand. So I'm sorry, I was meant to have my presentation to introduce the partners, but my phone is not with me because we're trying to arrange bringing in the second speaker. So I don't know, please, Habib, if you have the speaker's profile, can you please bring it up? Thank you. So we have Mr. Salihu Abdulkadir, and Salihu has built and developed a lot of commercial fish ponds in Nigeria. He is presently handling a 100,000 capacity fish recirculating system for River Basin Development Authority, Ministry of Water Resources. He's a graduate of economics from Usman Danfodio Sokoto, a farm manager and fish recirculating system consultant. He's the CEO of Bluetooth Link Nigeria Limited, Appleberry ICT Wizard, Bluetooth Occupied Farmland, and ICE Berry Limited, with clients across Africa. He has undergone various agricultural, IT, and business programs. He has received several awards in Nigeria and abroad. As a young vibrant, he was among the Made in Nigeria Industrial Revolution entrepreneurs under President Jonathan's administration in 2014. He was a Canada-Nigeria Investment Conference delegate to Toronto in 2013. He was also China-Nigeria Industry and Resources Corporation delegate to Guangzhou, China in 2012, where he encountered hydroponics, fish farming, and conceived the dream of building the same in Nigeria. He has built many smart fish farms and trained more than 2,000 youths across the country. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Before I say something, I would like to thank the organizer of this platform, Ajia Aisha Waziri, for putting everything together and making it possible for me to say something. Actually here, I would like to share my personal experience with youth on how I started and the challenges I had in fish farming and how profitable this fish farming is. My name is Salihu Abdulkadir, popularly known as Bluetooth. Happy Independence Days, Nigeria. Actually, I was part of the delegates. I was part of the delegate to China in 2012, where there was this revolution on how to produce your own food organically. And there was this campaign that different people can come up with idea on how this system will work. Then I saw a farm where they integrate fish farming and vegetable farming. And this system is called aquaponic and hydroponic. Then in this system, they use fish waste to grow agricultural produce like tomato, kale, and basil. Then I was so impressed. I came back to the country. I was actually trying to do the same. I looked around, I could not find where this system exists in Nigeria. Then I was so lucky that I am Andy. Then I put together a system, an aquaponics system, where I raise catfish and produce my organic crop. So I started with a catfish. Then I started making a little research about fish and how profitable this fish business is in Nigeria. Then I built a system. This system is integrated with fish and tomato. Then I now realized that I was producing more than I actually needed for my personal consumption. Though the idea is just to start something for myself and grow my organic protein in my backyard. Then I realized that I was producing and I was even having too much in my fridge. Then I decided to start sharing with neighbor, where I will knock your door, then I will give you your package as, okay, this is what I produce in my compound. Now, and I thought of business opportunity in this fish farm that I actually started small. Now, I now built, I now increased my capacity. Then I thought of going commercial. Now, the first experience with my commercial fish farming was a failure because I was not lucky to have a good buyer. A friend of mine gave me a number of a fish buyer at the Kado Fish Market. Then I called upon them. They actually showed up. They came with their scale, and then they scaled my fish. And I realized that I lost so much to that family. I was like, what happened? Because a lot of people are making money in this fish farming. What could have happened? Then I called upon the person that introduced the buyer to me, and I said, okay, could you believe that I lost so much money in this fish business? The man said, no. People make a lot of money in fish farming. I think those guys actually came with a skill. I said, yes. I said, oh, when you are doing a fish farming, you should have your scale, because this buyer, they are actually fraudster. They will come with their scale, and this scale is locked down to a magnet. So even though you put 100 kg on this scale, it will never read more than 20 kg. And that will actually count on your loss. I said, oh, so the next time I came up with another farm, and I increased the capacity. Well, I called upon this same guy, these same people that came with their scale. I said, no. Let me try something different. I brought out my own skill. Then actually I made so much money and that harvest. Then I was really encouraged to start doing it for people and encouraging youth to come and do the same. So actually, there's a lot of fish, there's a lot of business opportunity in fish farming in Nigeria, because our daily consumption is actually on high side. And in fact, our demand is actually higher than supply. Imagine we produce only 1.1 million metric tons, while our consumption is actually 3.6 million metric tons. As you can see, we have a deficit of 2.5 million metric tons, which I think a youth should come with me and exploit this business opportunity. Actually, Nigeria government has been making series of agricultural policy. This is a country where we have population of over 200 million citizens that constantly have higher demand of this protein. Fish is one of the healthy and cheapest source of protein. And like I said, our demand is actually higher than our supply. Yet the total production, including imports in Nigeria, does not satisfy the total fish demand. This is a situation, and mainly the surplus came from China. And as we all know, there's this campaign and allegation that most of the stockfish imported into the country were actually preserved using formalin. And we know the health consequence of formalin treated agricultural produce. We can move to the next page. The total production, including import in Nigeria, is actually not sufficient to support our consumption. Nigeria government, fish farming has the potential to help youth become big employer of labor and thereby enrich the society which is engaging in agricultural activities. Reduce high level of crime that is eating up our dear nation recently, and help government increase its revenue. I'm a self-made millionaire by raising fish from my backyard to small piece of land and now at commercial level. It is a business you can do anywhere in the country all year round. It is not restricted to a particular season. There are a lot of business opportunity in fish farming in Nigeria. Today, I'm ready to share with you the trick on how to be successful in fish farming. So before we start fish farming, so let me start by defining what is fish farming. Fish farming is simply an agricultural activity that involves raising fish for consumption or commercial purposes in a pond, being it from your backyard, small piece of land or farm. Type of fish to raise and most preferable one in Nigeria. We have catfish, we have tilapia, we have salmon and shrimp. Catfish is said to be the most popular one in Nigeria because of its high value and the fact that it grows faster in a short period of time. Catfish grows in a short time, say 3 to 4 months. You can actually raise catfish to table size in this space of time. And then before you start fish farming, there are a lot of things to put into consideration. I think number one is the interest. You need to have an interest in fish farming because you cannot join a business that you don't have interest in. And then secondly is the capital. So you need a little capital to start fish farming. And then also you need land where you can grow this fish. The land could be a small space, it could be a big, depend on your capital. So now the second fish is tilapia. I think tilapia is also profitable. Though tilapia takes a little while longer to grow. That's why majority of majority of farmers prefer to raise catfish. And then salmon is another healthy fish you can grow. But really, people prefer this catfish. That's why I will focus on catfish. Because catfish, there's a lot of value chain in catfish. You can actually become a vendor where you sell fresh catfish. And then also you can also come up with a business setup where you can refrigerate and package fish. And then, sorry, I think, and the common, like I said, common fish farming system in Nigeria is a recirculatory system. This fish recirculatory system, we have flow-through system, we have concrete pond, we have earthen pond, and trampoline pond. So we have a diagram to illustrate what actually is fish recirculatory system. The integral part of circulatory system is a sub-tank. Sub-tank is a tank where you store a fresh water and have a little pump on it to pump water to the fish tank. And then this water will refresh the fish tank and extract the waste to a filtration unit. The first state of filtration unit is mechanical filtration. This is where the fish waste will be, a solid particle of the fish waste will be trapped, and then move it to the next stage, which is known as biological filtration. In biological filtration, we have a process of purifying the water by removing the ammonia content. As we all know, fish is confined in an environment. This is where fish live, this is where they grow, and this is where they do their daily environment. So they poo in the water, and this poo will later resort to ammonia, and this ammonia within short period of time, say matter of weeks, it will just kill all your fish. Then in the biological filtration, there are microscopic bacteria that are known as nitrosomna. These nitrosomna are the agent that convert ammonia to nitrate and then nitrate to nitrate. In this process, we have a nitrogen cycle where your fish will grow well. Then a flow-through system. Flow-through system is a system where you have your pond and you have a source of water, say a river or even being it from a borehole. Then the water will flow through your fish pond, and then we'll have an exit where the waste will be constantly moving out, and then topping, and then you have a water refresh from top. So with this system, your fish will grow well and grow very fast and healthy. So we also have a concrete pond. Concrete pond could be in form of a rectangular shape or even a circular shape where you can grow your fish. So the disadvantage of this system is that constantly, say every 2 to 3 days, you need to change your water. So you have to be very close to the water source, and this will consume electricity. Though people make money, people make money in concrete pond. And then the second one, if you are close to water source or river, we have earthen pond. Earthen pond is a system where you will dig a ground and then support it with a bag of sand to support the edges around from breaking away. Then I think catfish do very well in this system because there will be a lot of organic activities in the system where you have red worm and other insects to be falling inside this pond. So in this system, the input you put as a feed will be little because the fish can actually have a supplement in the system. So this system is also profitable, but you have to be close to the river area or arable land where you can have a stream around or even borehole. So we have trampoline pond. Trampoline pond is said to be the cheapest system you can actually have. You can also set up this in your backyard because it's very cheap. Imagine the size of trampoline you need is just 12 by 6, where 12 by 6, where you can actually stock 250 to 300 fish. And then this fish grows very well because it's less organic, and it's not like the concrete pond where you have cement leaking into the system. So this is healthy. And then the business opportunity in fish farming in Nigeria, value chain, we have a hatchery. In hatchery, this is a process where you incubate a fish. So a lot of people make money in doing that business because it takes only 24 hours to start growing, to start raising fry. So the process is having 2 adult catfish, male and female. So hormone will be injected to the female broodstock, while the male will be dissected. So the semen of the male will be taken to a bowl where you have the egg. Then you use it to fertilize the egg. Then you spread the egg on a kakaban. So the incubator is called kakaban. It's just like a bowl with a net to retain eggs. So in the space of 24 hours, your fish will start hatching, and you see fry flying all over, swimming all over the water. Then you can actually start raising, be a farmer yourself, and raising this fish. Like I share with you how profitable this fish business is. You can also be selling fresh fish, which we all know there's a high demand all over for catfish. Then you can add more value by smoking the fish. In fact, this is the number one aspect of business you should consider. Imagine if you harvest your catfish and this buyer only buy 1,200 naira per kg. But if you actually smoke your fish, you can sell as much as 4,500 to 5,000 naira per kg, and this will double your profits, if not 100% or more than 100%. Then you can actually look at packaging. Packaging is another area where you can make so much money. It takes nothing other than getting a brand or helping people to be packaging, helping farmers to package their their fish. And then if you take it to market, you realize that people actually go for your fish because the way you brand it and the way it looks. And then you can be a market consultant in a fish farming business. You can be helping a farmer to raise market rate awareness, or even training the farmer on how to go about disease and how to increase how to maximize their profit. Then you can be a pond builder like me. I'm a pond builder and also a fish farmer. So I built a lot of pond for clients, and this is actually profitable because you will be the boss to decide what actually you need to put together to come up with the pond. And then people will actually depend on you, because farmers, when they realize that the business is profitable, they keep calling upon you to come and build a system for them. And then feed vendor. This is the most important part of fish farming, because when they have the fish, they consume certain amount of feed to grow. And then the whole system is tied up to how much you feed into the system. And you can be a transporter, whereby you can be helping farmer in the process of supplying the feeds, or even during harvest, helping them to send the fish produce to the market. You can also be a nutrient and medication vendor, Like we all know, fish is like every other animal where they fall sick and they need daily protein and nutritional content to grow big. So medication is another part of it, and the peculiar medicine we use in fish farming is antibiotic. So constantly, fish farmer always look for where to get antibiotics. Sometimes you can even get it as you have to even send someone to get this antibiotic as far as Ibadan or Jos to get it. So if you can make it available in Abuja, a lot of people will be patronizing you and you make so much money. So these are the fish business opportunity in fish farming value chain in Nigeria. So we can take a look at the picture of simple hatchery system where you see my staff trying to incubate fish. So actually, this setup takes a little amount to come about. You need a plastic or even a recycled container to actually do that. So what you need to take into consideration is a constant flow of water. You need a constant flow of fresh water, whereby the water will always be clean, because these fry are susceptible to bacterial diseases and fungal diseases. If water is not clean, so you will not be successful in that business. So category of fish seed, and that you should stock. We have a fry. Fry is usually between one to 2 weeks. And then the second stage is fingerling. As a farmer, you don't stock fry because this will be fragile for you to handle as a beginner. I think you should go for fingerling, which is between 3 to 4 weeks from experience. This is actually profitable. So another stage of fish grow is juvenile. Juvenile is usually between 6 weeks. So also farmer prefer to store juvenile because it will grow in no time, say in a period of 4 months, and then you start making money. We have Milan. Milan, this is known as market, fish farmer market slogan as table size, which is usually between 3 months. So this is actually the most preferred stage of fish produce, because farmer it takes only space of 3 months to grow, and then a farmer will start making money. And equally, this is the sweetest part of this is the sweetest age of more nutrition and sweetest stage of fish. So a lot of marketers prefer that stage because it's easy to burn. As you can see, smoked fish, you always see them tying it with a hook. So this stage is more suitable for that. And then the taste is just something else compared to the bigger fish size. So we also have market size. Market size is usually between 900 grams to 1 kg. You can even have a fish bigger than that. So this actually takes space of 4 to 6 months. 4 to 6 months. And then the market target for this is usually point and kill joints, or hotels, restaurants, and even market. So we have an example of market where you can sell your fish close to you here in Abuja. I think one is in Kado. They call it Kado fish markets. And then now we can take a look at the prerequisite, what you actually need before you start this fish farming business in Nigeria. And before you start a fish farming business, the following must be available. One, like I said, interest. Interest is always key to start anything. you must have insurance before you start fish farming business, so that you will concentrate and manage your fish farming very well. So you need a small capital, say 500 to 900,000 to start a fish farming in Nigeria because of the inflation. 2 years ago, you can actually start with even 400,000, but now because of the inflation. So 900,000 capital will be adequate to raise 500 catfish to 1 kg, grow as size comfortably. This depends on what you already have. If you have water source and land, this cost will be less. Otherwise, it may be higher than stated amount, depending on your location. So I'll actually divide this money needed to start a business into two, namely fish costs and operational costs. So in the fish costs, we have cost of renting a land if you don't have a land. In Abuja, you can have a place to rent as cheap as 100,000 naira. So secondly, you need source of water. So it will be advisable to dig your borehole, which will actually cost you 300,000 naira. So because without water, in fact, you won't be sustainable. Fish farming will not even take place, not even to be trampoline cost. So you need a size of 5 by 6.5 feet with a height of 3 feet. And this you will need 2 units of this trampoline pond, which will actually cost you 60,000 naira. Then in operational costs, the total will be 440, as you can see, if you are writing. Then we also have operational costs. In operational costs, we have costs of buying the seed itself, which is fingerling. And fingerling price is always between 25 to 30 naira from a reputable farm. And this will actually cost you 100,000. So security and staff will also be part of your what you need to start this fish business. So you cannot set up a business, you cannot invest your money where there will be security. If not, you will lose all to tips. So actually, this will cost you 50,000 naira in the period of the let me say season, or say 2 years, 2 seasons. In a year, actually, you have 3 seasons because this is not actually tied to a season. You can grow your fish 3 times a year. So that means every 3 months or 4 months, you are making money in fish farming. So then the medication will cost you 12,000 naira to actually raise 500 catfish. So throughout this production stage, from fingerling to grow out stage, which will be actually 1 kg each, where you'll be having 500 kg in the, at the harvest. So you will need 33 bags of fish, commercial feeds to raise this 500 kg catfish. So, and this will each feed now, it goes for 11,000 naira. So if you multiply 11 by 33, you have 363,000. So if you put together all, you will need 900,000 to actually start this business. But if you take a look at your profits with this little capital, in a period of 3 months with this little system, you will be making only 160,000 naira. So to some farmer, this may not look as a beginner, this may not look encouraging because of because the profit margin is so small. So you can actually double your profit by learning how to formulate your own feed. As you can see, 50% of your profit has gone to the commercial feed vendor, which you can actually maximize by formulating your own feed. And then learning how to formulate your feed is very simple. All you need to know is soya beans is source of plant protein that is actually having higher, if not the highest protein content. So you also need a blood meal, which you can have around you, because we have abattoir all over Abuja, and these people will give you they'll give you this blood meal even as free of charge, because you are helping them to clean up the environment. And then you actually need maize. Maize, to do that, you need maize, to buy maize directly from farmer at the period of harvest, which will actually cost 15,000 naira each. So if you put together, you will maximize your profit, you will increase your profit by 50%. Also, if you smoke and package your fish, like I said earlier, 1 kg of fish is 4,500 naira in the market. If you add more value to it, you can even sell as high as 5,000 to 6,000. So therefore, 4,500 multiplied by 375. So if you smoke your catfish, this kg will be shrink. It will shrink from 500 kg we have earlier that we grew. So 75, and we also take 75% percentage, 75% as a shrink aspect of this fish, which will later reduce to 375. Now with 375 kg of fish, you will be making 1,687,500 naira. So this is around 100%, if not more than 100% profit return to your business investment. So actually, you also need a land, like I said earlier. If you have this land, so good, then you maximize your profit. You don't need to even spend a penny in buying or renting a land. Now your pond is the trampoline that will actually cost you each 30,000 naira each. Then water and feed are the most integral part of this fish farming. And then security is another aspect of the business, and we have record keeping. Record keeping is a lot of people have been thrown out of business because they don't actually keep record. So as we all know, record will help you keep track of your daily activities in the farming system. And you also need a very good management and accounting system. So you have to be patient. You cannot be a type of farmer that always calling upon the secretary. Oh, what do you have there? Do you have 50,000? Please send it to me. Oh, Adamu is coming. Give him check. So at the end of the day, you realize that the business is not profitable, while you actually consume or divert all your capital to other means. So we have a trick and secret I can share with you to be successful in this fish farming. I think every smart farmer knows about that, but not all will tell you the following idea I'm about to share with you. Surely this will make you successful in your fish farming business. One, you need to have you need to conduct your research and have a clear market target and where this is the actually demand for this fish, where to sell and who buys. Is it individual, hotel, restaurant, joint, or you want to start producing this fish for export purpose? Then we have also have stocking density. The stocking density, this is a quantity of fish that should be stocked in a given tank. So the formula is 10 gallon to 1 fish. So in 1,000 liter of fish container, you can actually grow 50 to 200 fish. So then the water quality, this is another important aspect that will make you successful in your fish farming business. So fish enjoy and always do well in the pH of 7.5 to 8.5, because always as a fish farmer, you should know that there could be ammonia spike if you actually overstock your fish. And then we have aeration. Aeration is the process of putting oxygen. Fish understand or dissolve oxygen more than the ordinary air we breathe in. So dissolved oxygen usually come up when you have a clean water. So when your water is always clean, or you have high rate of dissolved oxygen, and that water is aerated and filter all the toxins that could kill your fish. So we have FCR. FCR is a feed converting ratio. So as a farmer, if you understand this very well, in fact, your profit is actually tied to FCR, food converting ratio. Food converting ratio is the amount of feed you put into, you give your fish to grow out stage. Fish, unlike other animals, has the highest feed converting ratio. The ratio is 1 to 1. If you feed your, that means garbage in, garbage out. If you feed your fish 1 kg, your fish will grow body mass of 1 kg. And then we have a feeding regimen and formulating your feed, like I said earlier. Feeding regimen, this is a stage. This is a stage in feeding your fish daily. So usually when these fish are fingerling, you feed them 3 times daily with high quality feed. And then you should keep up with time, because this fish actually, this fish will also keep up with time. In fact, when you get down to feed your feed in the morning, you will see them already waiting for you, swimming on top of the pond, waiting for you to serve them their daily protein, protein intake. Then you formulate your feed. You can actually formulate your feed, like I said earlier. Then another important aspect of fish farming that will make you successful, especially catfish farming, because catfish are carnivorous. They tend to devour on the weak one. Especially you will see smaller one chasing the big one, if the population of smaller one outgrow the population of the bigger one. But usually it's the big one that tend to prey on the smaller one. So constantly, in a matter of a week, you need to be sorting your fish adequately. You can, if you start a small fish farming, you can call upon your friend to join you to help you out in sorting out the fish. Because without sorting, the fish will consume themselves and the whole system would be failure. And then identification of disease and control and the prevention. So fish, like every other animal, they are susceptible to diseases. Particularly, we have broken, cracking head. This is, as a fish farmer, you will be aware of this. This is a deadly killer of fish farming business. If your water quality is very poor and you don't change your water often, so you are likely, your spawn is likely to be infected with crackhead. And another disease in this aspect, we have bacterial disease. This bacteria is known as running horse. In the morning, you need to be observant when you are feeding your fish. You will see some fish isolating themselves. They will not be part of the pond activities. They will be swimming erratically. You see them swimming very fast. Some will even be floating on the water while still alive. Then you know that your pond is infected with deadly disease called running horse. We also have hitching. Hitching is a lice that is a fungal disease that can also affect your catfish if the water quality is so poor. You see your fish swimming this in across the wall of your pond, trying to hitch out his body, scratching his body all across the pond. And in this process, these fish will soon fall prey because other fish will devour on it and consume it, because while scratching his body across the wall, then he can be injured. And the moment catfish sends blood, they will devour on that fish. That fish is gone. And then scaling, like I share experience with you, there's this scenario that happened to me, and this actually almost threw me out of catfish farming. This buyer came with their scale, and this scale was locked with a magnet, like I told you earlier. So you need your scale to scale out your your fish and avoid this magnet cheat. Then this scale will also help you in periodic sampling the growth and monitoring the growth of your fish, say in every week. So you need to sample out, you need to take a sample out like 10 and take the average. Then you will know if your fish is doing well or not. Then you have to be patient in a fish farming business, because the first production may not actually come out profitable. And a lot of new farmers tend to be discouraged at this point, because when they actually start off a business and they realize that they cannot account for the profits. So people tend to pull out of the business, while they don't know they will actually make a lot of money in the cattle business if they are patient enough to pass through the first stages. And then we also have dealing and knowing how to deal with the impact of COVID. As we all know, this is a worldwide phenomena that happen to be causing inflation and scarcity and food shortages across the world. So if you are very smart, you know this, all you need to do is how to increase your production, and then to take advantage of this scenario that is eating the whole world deeply. So, actually a lot of farmers are not able to farm due to this impact. And then if you can increase your production, you will make a lot of profit. As you can see, there's a global war issue that is also causing inflation. Imagine, we all know that majority of this imported agricultural produce actually come from Ukraine. And with the situation in Ukraine now, there's no room for exportation. And then locally, if you actually know if you're actually aware of this fact, all you need is to take advantage and increase your fish farming capacity and maximize the profit. And like we know, daily, every day, daily you go to market and you find out that what you buy 1,000 naira is no longer that. Always you have increase in the general increase in price. That is inflation. That is, and this inflation, you should see this inflation as a positive, not what will discourage you from doing business. Because actually, with this fact, it is difficult to start something new, especially what you are not used to. So you have to take cognizance of that fact that, okay, not everything will turn out positive at first trial. So you have to be patient. And from my explanation and my experience, if you put all these factors into consideration, you will become successful in your fish farming business, and you will make a lot of profits. So all things being equal, you can start dancing buga and smile your way to bank every 3 months. Cheers. I think we can take a question. You can start taking question now. This is what I have written as a script.
Okay, thank you. Please, if you have questions, we will unmute you, and then you have about 2 minutes briefly to ask your question. Thank you.
I have a question, but before I ask my question, I just want to say thank you to Bluetooth. I can't help it. I'm used to calling you Bluetooth. So thank you for...
That's it. That's actually the name, the business name.
Yes. So
thank you.
So you're running 2 parallel businesses. You're doing your electronic business and you're doing a fish farm, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my question has to do with this land. You mentioned that land in Abuja for this type of business is available for about 100,000. Well, what location are you talking about? Because I think I thought, I was surprised when I heard you say 100,000 is enough. Where is this land? That's important. My second question has to do with what you said about fish feed business. Are you saying a person can start formulating locally their fish feed, packaging and selling, or are you saying that you can import the feed and sell? So because that value chain of feed, you said it's 50% of the cost is the feeding. Yes, so there's opportunity for people who want to just go into fish feed, or a person who wants to reduce their cost of business should consider making their own feed. Those are my 2 questions, the issue of land and issue of feed, please. Well,
yeah,
yes.
Like I said earlier, I think it's a good question. Like I said earlier, it depends on location. So I'm taking a look at Abuja situation. So we have area in Abuja, area like Kubwa, Nyanya, and Kuje. So these are actually suitable for this fish farming. And at this area, land is very cheap. You can even find a carcass building that is being abandoned. You can call upon owner that you will actually help him to manage or even handle his property. Then this person may allow you in, and then you will have a negotiation this in price where you can give as little as 50 to even 100,000, because this is a house that this is a Kaka house that has been abandoned, and the owner would be happy to even give that to you. Apart from that, here in Galadima, Gwarimpa area, it's very close to Gwarimpa. There are actually people that rent out on. These people provide security and they help you manage and provide feed. for your fish. So this is actually simple, and there's procedure. If you don't know, you can call me and ask more questions. I can even take you to the area. And secondly, the second question is about the feeding. Feeding, as a farmer, this is actually the challenge we are seriously having. Every day you go to market, especially with these inflationary rates all over. If you go to market, what you buy, the feed we buy 7,000, now it's 11,000. And every day this price is going up. So if you formulate your feed, you actually make more profit. And I've listed the item you need in formulating your own feed, which is actually soya bean, blood meal, and all these things. Soya beans you have to buy, but blood meal you can get it for almost free at abattoir. You can go to DAD, where at the abattoir, in fact, they will be glad if they realize that you'll be helping them taking out the blood waste, because they see it as waste and pollution in their environment there, and they will gladly give that to you. Also, like you said, whether to formulate feed and start selling or for your farm consumption, yes, you can actually go into both, because we are trying to explore the business opportunity in fish farming in Nigeria. You can actually be a vendor where you can import this feed and sell to the farmer. Secondly, you can be formulating just purposely for your farm. I hope that answered your question.
Yes, definitely. We have a few questions before we go to the next speaker. So, Farida, I see some.
Yeah, so because of time, we'll take just the 3 participants. Please make it very, very brief. So, Ahmed, you can go on now.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Ahmed.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much. You took a very detailed presentation. Thank you very much. My question is, my question is, what is the ideal pilot size if you wanted to experiment with this fish farming as a business?
Sorry, what is it?
What would be a good starting farm size to start with? Somebody that has never tried. That's question number one. Question number two, the people that have never farmed fish before. Question number two is, what is the energy requirement for the presentation you gave? That's is it 500 kg?
500, okay, yes. That's actually a good question.
Of water and pumps and so on.
You need pump to be pumping water, fresh water to the pond. Actually, the site you should consider. If you are lucky to have live in a property that is yours or for a relative, so you can actually use a small space of land in your backyard, say like 10 by 6 square feet land. So this would be this in your backyard, any place of that size. So you can actually start from your backyard, or you go into renting. But I would suggest to start experimenting this business from your backyard. And when you see how suitable and profitable it is, then you now move to production, commercial production. And secondly, the energy required. Here I've listed 300,000 for digging borehole. Sorry, actually I didn't add the cost of electricity, because I believe you want to start this business small and later grow it up. Then you can actually use the available source of energy you have. Only 100 watts, the size of about energy saving bulb consumption, 100 watt. So you can get a pump of 100 watt to constantly pump water to your pond if you are into recyclatory system. But if it's not a recyclatory system, you need a borehole or if there's a utility pump to be pumping water. This will actually cause a lot because you are dealing with high volume of water. So I suggest you get a CMO if the property happens to be yours or your relative. You should get a solar CMO. Solar CMO is a very cheap new technology pump you can use in pumping out water from borehole. So this will cost you nothing other than the initial investment in 3 panels that will cost you 150,000. So with this, you actually maximize your profit.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jamilu, and after that, we'll have Antisitra, and that will be all for calling in. Other answers can please be typed on the Q&A box, and then they will be attended to. Jamilu, you can come on.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah,
I would like to express my thanks and appreciation for the organizers of this webinar, the Chief Executive Officer of I Produce, Haja Aisha Waziri Umar, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. And then the presenter, you have excellent.
Oh, sorry, you are breaking.
Thank you, Jamilu. Can you ask your question, please, if you can hear us?
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Spoken. I would like to have second is I want more highlight.
Sorry,
Hey, Jamilu, can you type?
You can type it. Can you type your question, please? Maybe the next speaker can speak now. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Good
Yes, we
afternoon.
can.
Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you. Your presentation was very informative. I have a question relating to what you were talking about catfish being carnivorous. And you mentioned somewhere about the little fish eating the big fish and vice versa, and something to do with having the ratios right. Can you explain that a little bit? I didn't really understand that. I think you were talking about how to maintain the right ratio in the pond.
Yes. Yes,
Thank you.
Actually, in a system, when you have higher population, so even in human, crime rates and all these social vices will increase because the environment is so crowded, and this will give room for different types of activities, negative activities. So that's the case. That's also the case with fish. When you overstock your fish, the pond will be crowded, and then this will not encourage the carnivorous activities in the pond. And in this system, you see a group of fish that will be moving in. Fish always flock in group, and then the big one will flock together, then the small one will flock together. So because this fish, you actually stop them at the same rate, the same level of growth. But because some are getting feed faster than the other, and they tend to outgrow other fish. And then the big fish, like this says, grow. Big fish swallow small fish, and then that activity will start taking place in your pond. The big fish will be taking on the small fish, and vice versa. When the smaller fish, the population of smaller fish is more than that of big fish, the smaller fish will learn how to get rid of the bigger one, so that they'll have peace in the pond. And then also stocking density. Stocking density mean actually mean amount of fish you should put in a given pond. So the formula always goes this way. You have a 10 gallon of water, 10 gallon of water to one grown-up fish. So initially, when you stock this fish, you know, they will be so tiny and small. That volume of water can even support 50 fries. But as they start growing, the place will be crowded. So you need to apply the rule of thumb, which implies 10 gallon of water to 1 kg size of. So with that, you won't have any issue in the pond. And then you do sorting. Sorting, this is the way out. You need sorting means process where you will take out, you scale your fish and take out this in a bigger one. You move them to another pond, where the smaller one will be in the second pond. Like I said, you will need 2 ponds to start with. If not, the fish will consume each other. So you will need 2 ponds to do that sorting. That is the way out.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Consequently, please type your questions in the question box and then they will be attended to. Next, we have Mrs. Mfon. Please, can we have the profile?
I think Mrs. Mfon, you might be muted. Mrs. Mfon is the next speaker. She's here, we can see her, but I think she's muted. Farida, can you do the intro?
Okay,
Can you do?
I will just, okay. Habib, can we have the profile, please, on the screen?
I've unmuted myself.
All right, thank you. So we have Mrs. Mfon Archibong, and she has worked with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development from 2007 to date. She is currently an Assistant Chief Fisheries Officer in the Federal Department of Fisheries and Aquaculture, and she's also currently the focal point officer in charge of the Tilapia Lake Virus Program and other fisheries-related matters. Thank you very much, Ma, for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
We're all ears, we're all ears.
I'm so happy to be here. First and foremost, I'm so sorry that I couldn't make it at the time that I was allotted to me, which was 11 o'clock due to some challenges on the road. But then I'm here, and I will do justice to my topic, which I believe the last speaker has elaborated on it so much, and I want to appreciate him too, because he has done noble to what he knows best. I wouldn't want to waste our time further. I'll go straight to my topic, which is business opportunities in fish farming in Nigeria. And I remain MD Archibong, like it has been properly introduced from Federal Department of Fisheries. So the introduction, can you share my presentation?
Yes, we can see your first slide already. Thank you.
Okay. So the introduction, fish is the cheapest source of animal protein, and this you can find in different forms. You can have them live, frozen, dried, smoked, or fresh. Fish account for about 40% of the total protein intake. That is why it's necessary for us to eat fish. it sells itself because of high demand for protein. And it also brings in very reasonable profit to those who venture into it. Beside you selling the fish, you can use it to feed your livestock. That means use it as feed. And processed fish is also very vital in formulating feeds for livestock. Example, trash fishes like clue pit, fish waste, and then you can use them as your fish meal, implying a great opportunity for fish feed millers. Fish and fish products could be exported to other countries to meet their protein requirements. We've mentioned few of them, which is Europe, America, Chad, Niger, Senegal, etc. There are many of them where you can actually reach out to. There are different opportunities when it comes to fish farming. The last speaker has highlighted a lot of it, but I will make emphasis on them because they are very important. We have fish fingerlings production as one of the opportunity, the broodstock development, production of live table-sized fish, fish feeds production and marketing, fish meal production. We have the fiberglass tanks production, boat building and repairs, dedicated fish marketing website, ornamental fish trade, live fish transportation, fish processing and packaging, input and equipment supplies, training and extension, publishing, fish restaurant, fish competitions, sport fishing. I'll explain them one after the other because these are the opportunities you need to key into and if you want to make profit in the fish farming in Nigeria here. Please, next slide. Like I mentioned earlier, the broodstock development. For you to propagate it successfully, you need a healthy and sexually matured individuals of both sexes between 6 months and above in females, and also 1 year and above in males, respectively. Because without the broodstock, you can't talk about the fingerling. And we have a limited number of broodstock banks in Nigeria. So you can actually go into it and you have patronage. The sexes of these catfishes are always maintained in separate ponds in case you want to enter into it. Males are stocked in their ponds at 3 males per meter squared, while females are stocked at 4 to 5 fish per meter squared. Both must be maintained with fresh flowing water at all times. The water temperature should be maintained close to 25 degrees centigrade. pH should be between 6.5 to 8. The oxygen level is maintained above 3 milligrams per liter, and this is better indoors in a continuous semi-darkness environment. Yes, these are the things you need to take into consideration if you want to actually go into production of the broodstock, which is one of the key things when you talk about the hatchery. Now the broodstock, why we will raise it to this level 1 year from 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? What is the profit you can get after raising it for this period of time? The broodstock, if you raise it to that level, it can be sold between 2,500 presently to 3,000 per kg. Meaning that if your fish weighs like 2 kg, you can actually sell that fish for 5,000 or 6,000 respectively, or 4. And in this, you can sell both the male and the female because these are the 2 things that are required when it comes to broodstock hatchery fingerling production. So, and 2 males may be needed and 2 females too may be needed. That's a great opportunity for you if you want to go into broodstock development. Now, fish fingerling production, they go hand in hand because, like I said, without the broodstock, you can't talk about the fingerlings. But you can as well not go into broodstock development. You can get it from those that are specialized in it, and then you go into fish fingerlings production, which is an important aspect when it comes to fish culture. It ensures a continuous supply of fish seed, and these are reared to the
Mrs.
adult
Mfon, are you
stage
there?
later. What do we really we are actually referring to the mating between the male and the female in a confined environment, or we leave them to themselves. The artificial breeding is just the reproduction of your hatchery condition. This is proving to be successful as fewer fish farmers are origins, which often have poor.
Sorry, we're having a little interruption. Just 1 minute, literally 1 minute. She's going to, we're moving her position. Thank you. Sorry, network issue. She's moving to a better place. Sorry about that. Okay.
All those preparations.
Apologies, everybody. Network malfunction. Madam, I don't know what's going on. Oh dear. Let's try second option. Sorry, everybody. Let's try a different way. Madam, let's use this. So sorry, but not else.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Okay. Can start.
Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. And it's just one of those things we have when we talk about the Zoom meeting. It's not something new, but we can accommodate it. So like I was saying, the fish fries as a business, we can actually go into it, and we go into the natural way of doing it and the artificial way of doing it. The fish fries can be sold at 3 to 5 naira per fish, assuming there are 20. You have 20,000 fries, can get like 60,000 out of it. Now, I was talking about the fish fingerlings as a business. There are stages when it comes to it. The fries, from the fries, you can have the fingerlings, which is the next level. After raising it for like 2 weeks, you have that size, and you can actually make a lot of money. Instead of just getting 60,000, you raise it for 2 weeks again, and then, or a month, for the same 20,000 fries, you can actually add value to it using a little quantity of fish feed, and you have a total of 400,000. Because if the fish that you're supposed to get at 3 naira or 5 naira, you're now selling it at 20 naira per fish because of the value that has been added to it. Next slide, please. Then at another level, we can have the juveniles, and then this one is a bigger one. It's bigger than the fingerlings. So that all these stages I have mentioned, these are actually stages people can key in. You don't really need to be an hatchery operator before you have to go into all this. You just need a little tank. The white beggar tank we have can actually save you this stress. But what you need is just the water and your little feed, because they feed little. So if you can get like 20,000 fish, you put them in these tanks. And before you know it, just a little application, within 2 weeks that you've added to the other level, you can get so much money. Like I said, at juvenile, the fish can be sold as 4,000 fish juveniles, or you can sell 20,000 at 30 naira, and you get 600,000 against the 400,000 naira you were having. So it's quite something you can actually get when it comes to that. Then the next level is the fish feed formulation. Like my last speaker has spoken, fish feed accounts for, in fact, 70% of fish production. Because like other animals, fish require essential nutrients in their diet for them to grow properly. And if they don't grow properly, then you will not have what you actually need when it comes to the monetary aspect of it. Now, for you to do that, there are a lot of things you need to be acquainted with, because if you want to go into fish feed formulation, you need to know something about the fish feed ingredients before you can venture into them. And then you need to know the nutrient requirements of your fish, the feedstuffs and their nutrient composition, and then the method of processing all these available feedstuffs, the feed formulation and processing. And some of these ingredients include the soya bean meal, it has been mentioned in the last presentation, the groundnut cake, the maize bran, blood meal, the fish meal, the palm kernel cake, cotton seed. These are the pictures of them all. So somebody can actually say, oh, let me pick 1 or 2 things and of these ingredients and then trade on. These are things people patronize more because we don't have them presently. They are scarce. That's why people they're going off the market. And if you actually trade on these ingredients, then the sky is your limit, because you have a lot of patronage when it comes to the ingredients, especially the fish feed meal, because that is a major component when it comes to fish feed production. This is a picture of the fish meal. It has been shown. All those are pictures in case you want to trade in them. And then if you want to be a miller, you can make your feed. How do you make fish feed? The pellets or granules can be made by cooking with steam or by extrusion, depending on the feeding requirements of the fish. The pellets can be made to sink or float, but flakes are another form of dry food and a popular diet for aquarium fishes. And flake consists of a complex mixture of ingredients, including pigment. Those are the things, the ones we use for our ornamental fishes, those colorful fishes. Now, how do you process as a feed miller? You need an hammer mill for your milling to mill all your feedstuffs, and it's being carried out using the hammer mill. We have this locally fabricated machine just to cut costs because of the high cost of the equipment. So people tend to use the fabricated ones in order for them to break even. We have the extruder machine, but they're expensive and it requires electricity. So for you to maintain it and for you to even acquire it, it's it's an expensive thing, and you need money for you to be able to get this. These are the local and imported fish feed. Once you get them, and a bag of it goes between 8,000 to 15,000 presently, depending on the sizes, because we have different sizes, which ranges between 0.1, 0.5, 0.2, 0.8, 1 mm, 2 mm, etc. So the choice of the ones you want to produce depends on the equipment you have. Some go into live table fish production. You don't have to rear your fish from the fingerlings level before you go into fish farming business. You can buy from the hatchery operators. You buy from a reputable hatchery, and then you stock in your pond. And after the period of 2 to 3 months, those are the ones we call smokable sizes. And presently, the cost of getting a smokable size fish is between 1,200 to 1,300, between 2 to 3 months, and you make good investment. Meaning that if you stock 1,000 fish, you can actually make gain out of it, because you record 80% mortality within 2 to 3 months. If you calculate that, you know how much it costs and how much you get just using few bags of feed within 2 months is a good return of investment. So you can actually go into the production of this. And if you don't want to sell the smokable size and you're targeting the gardens, the hotels, the restaurants, then definitely your fish goes higher. It ranges between, if it gets to 1 kg, you can actually sell your fish presently. I'm not talking about past, because as I speak, I am buying on a daily basis between 1,500 to 1,700 per kg. And this is being cultured between 4 to 6 months. And you can get your return on investment, 80% mortality. Just calculate and you'll see the return on investment. Then you can actually go into transportation and marketing of live table size fish. You don't have to culture, but you are still in fish farming business. This is a typical scene of Kado fish market here in Abuja. This is a crude way of actually bringing in fish. At the moment, they don't really have a good way of transporting fish. So there is growing need for improved transport of live fish in Nigeria, as method presently being used by many fish farms cause great stress and high mortalities of fish. Poor knowledge of fish transport has been a major constraint in the industry. Most fish farms transport live fish in plastic jerry cans in the heat of the day without aeration. Please, they need to change this slide at the moment, please.
I'm sorry, let me just get our IT person. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're still talking about the transportation. Can you go back to the previous one, please? Yes, that's the one. Like I said, most fish farmers transport live fish in plastic jerry cans in the heat of the day without aeration. And for you to ensure high survival of fingerlings or large fish in transport, fish should be held without feed for at least 24 hours before transport in a tank with flowing water and aeration. Specialized transporters of live fish are presently in high demand. We don't have that in Abuja. That's why when you enter the Kado fish market, you see a lot of mortalities. And farmers and the traders are actually running at a loss, and the farmers too, because they don't have a specialized transporter. So people can actually go into this because it will help them. And then the next one is the grading and sales of fresh fish. Yes, this is in Ghana. people actually being paid to grade and sort fish into sizes because they command prices, different prices, and people do this on daily basis and get their pay. So people can actually be doing this and get their earnings too. People don't know. I used to see them here, they sorted in Kado too, and they're being paid for doing that job. So it's an opportunity when it comes to fish farming. Next slide, please. This is the cells. It has been sorted out into the different sizes, into different containers, so that once you come, you know the size to take and the price that is being attached to them. It makes it easier for people that are buying and the sellers too. Next slide, please. This is fish processing techniques and our fish product, which involves preparation of fish into various products to increase their shelf life and to prevent fish spoilage. Yes, is one of the opportunity when it comes to opportunity in fish farming. So you can actually key into this. I see a lot of them in Kadot, and they are having a lot of money when it comes to washing, the gutting, the pickling, the salting, the filleting, the smoking.
Sorry about this network problem. Honestly, it's our internet connection. Mrs. Mfon?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I think
Can
I'm
you hear
here.
me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
You can hear me?
I think
okay.
I can.
All right,
Yes,
please continue.
I'm hearing
Okay,
you.
please continue.
Okay.
We have
Yeah.
about 5 minutes before question and answer. 5 minutes before question and answer. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just go through the different. So these are the different ways of the next slide. You can as well go into fish barbecue and sells the frozen products too. And the ornamental fish exports is part of it because Nigeria is blessed with abundant variety of fish species, some of which have been exported over the years. Presently, Nigeria exports so much, but only few of our exotic fish are involved in this trade because some are done illegally. You can actually do it in a legal way and you make good returns on investment. People go into production of fiberglass tank, like I said, and presently it's only Federal Department of Fisheries that are into it, and definitely you can actually key into it as a private sector. This is a picture of the fiberglass tank. Please go the next slide, you get it, good. And then these are other culture facilities which you can actually be trading on. The fiber collapsible tanks. Go next slide, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. We have the collapsible tanks, different sizes, different shapes. This is the cage. You can actually venture into this as one of the opportunities too, because our water bodies are not properly utilized. We are blessed with 18, it has been approved dams in Nigeria, but few investors are there. Then extension and training, just what we are doing. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, extension and training. Professional organizations need to become more involved in providing technical assistance materials and training, as government providing extension services are not adequate. So you can actually do what I am doing and you'll be paid for. So this could provide employment and be highly beneficial to the industry too. You can go into publishing of fish farming books, the textbooks, the brochures, the technical guidelines, training manuals that can assist potential fish farmers, fish newspapers like Agri News. You can go into fish restaurant, keep going the slide, I'll keep going, yeah. The restaurant business can employ so much because most of our fish are being consumed in that sector. The sport fishing, legs, keep going, the next slide. The legs can be released from the government. We have so much, you can use that for your sport fishing and you can now arrange it annually. And before you know it, we have the Jabi leg there that can be used for such activity. Presently, there is none in the country and it attracts a lot of money. Fishing competitions can actually be done, and we have one Agugu festival. That's the only one. We can actually key into this in order for us to make more money. We invite our international investors, the foreigners, and they key into these competitions too. What are the economic benefits of this? There are many economic benefits that can come from aquaculture and related business, as you can employ labor, alleviate poverty, increase food supply, increase protein supplements, and you are self-sufficient too. So my conclusion is that it is very clear that due to the high demand for fish, there exists a huge gap between the demand and supply, which has created many opportunities for entrepreneurs. Government needs to assist fish farmers financially so that they are enabled to tap into these vast resources. Fish farmers also, on their part, can form cooperatives so as to avail themselves of the assistance that is presently available from agricultural banks, microfinance banks, government agencies, and international organizations like the ECOWAS Fund, which give microcredit. Nigeria has the resource capacity to meet the demand for fish in many other nations, and this is open to fish farmers and other investors to enter into. So fish plays an important role in boosting the national economy because it generates employment, income, it alleviates poverty, it ensures food safety. Therefore, you have to make good use of the various opportunities that exist in fish farming. Identify one or two for specialization and make good investment and money. Don't be jack of all trades, master of none. Thank you very much for listening.
For a very wonderful presentation. So if you have a question, we'll take just 3 people briefly. Please raise up your hand, and then other questions can go to the question box, please.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Yes, okay. Mrs. Mfon, thank you for this presentation. Very, very useful. Now, what I would like to know is that, being that you are staff of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, what projects and programs do you have to support fish farming entrepreneurs in Nigeria? What is the ministry, what's government doing about this to support production and the value chain, developing the value chain?
There are lots of programs at the moment and lots of associations, because as governments, we like to patronize groups when it comes to, so that we know our monies are utilized properly. So when they apply at the moment, we have the smoking kilns that we are giving out. We have the growth enhancement scheme. And like I said, the growth enhancement scheme entails giving out input, a starter pack. We're giving out the fiberglass tank, the collapsible tanks, fish feed, and even the fish fingerlings to farmers. So, and they were making good returns on them. Because at the moment, we're still thinking of other things. And lucky enough, 3 things have been approved for us to do for farmers and to boost production. We may go into close season of, when it comes to, because to boost production, we need to stock our legs too. It doesn't stop at our backyard. We go further into even stocking the lakes for people to see what to fish, because our natural stock is being depleted on daily basis. We assess farms and we give grant to farmers. Especially there's a program we call Fish Farmer Estate, and farmers were actually being given money to go and produce fish for the nation, which some benefited. So those are some of there are many programs, but these are the few. And even the leg virus that I was, as I'm in charge of, we visited farms, that's the tilapia farm, because it's a species kind of disease. So we actually, hello, am I there?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay. So like the fish tilapia leg virus that I mentioned about, which I'm in charge of, we actually visit tilapia farms, and after visiting the tilapia, we took samples of this the species to analyze, because there were issues in the nationwide, not just in Nigeria, globally, that we have leg virus, and we ascertain the level of this virus in Nigeria. Currently, I will boldly say it's negative, and this can actually bring markets to fish farmers too, because once their products are taken outside, it will be acceptable, and it do not be rejected by outsiders too. That's part of the programs we're having for the farmers. So we have lots of things.
Madam, please, I need you to help us with information about how people can access this support. Some people are talking about feed. There's a question here by a lady, Kaka Kashim, and her question is that she started a year ago, but her capital is small and she wants to expand, but the feed is expensive. Do you have any way that people can get this feed or grant or just get the feed to help them expand?
Well, at the moment, what we are looking at is to work on how to actually subsidize the feeds, because a lot of companies have actually indicated interest to us that their feeds are cheaper. So we are trying to link farmers to such companies so that they'll be able to break even, because we actually know is a major challenge in the industry, and we are working hard to make sure that we subsidize some of these things. But at the moment, I can't categorically say we are starting so period, but we are still working on it because there are a lot of complaints on the high cost of feed.
Thank you very much. I don't know if there are more hands up, but our time is actually up now. It's already 1 minute to 1, and the time is we're supposed to end at 1 o'clock. I'd just like to say that we will be sending the recording to all the people who registered, recording of this webinar, and also the presentations will be sent with the contact numbers and names of the speakers, so people have questions, they can contact them directly. Thank you so much, everybody. Farida, I hand over to you to close. Unfortunately, network is not helping us, so it's just timely for us to end. And I can see the questions are finished, so no hands are raised. Farida, over to you, unless there are any more questions. Thank you. Farida may be having challenges as well. It's unfortunate that webinars are very difficult to hold without interruption. So at this point, I think I should close. I want to again say a big thank you to our two speakers and all the participants who joined us. Thank you for your attentive and your interest in what we're doing. We will try and continue to have these kind of webinars in order to help in the agribusiness space. And hopefully we're going to focus on financing as well, because I know that with all the ideas you can have, without the financing, you can't start anything. So thank you again, everybody, and have a lovely Independence Day. Have a lovely Monday holiday, a rest, and you'll hear from us very soon. Thank you so much again. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Aisha. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I'm grateful to be a member.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. All right then. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye. Please send an email if you have any questions. Reach us via email. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.